Muy buenos dias. Welcome to the video on the present tense review. I say review, hopefully it should be a review for all of you. This goes along with the packet that I gave to you in class today. So I would like you to fill it out as we go along. Bear in mind that this is going to look a little different than what your packet looks like. So I have a slide for each different thing that I'm going to be going over, just to give you an idea. All of these things that I'm flipping through right now are on your very first page of your packet. So just realize this is not exactly the same as what you have in front of you, and that's okay. You can feel free to pause, play, skip, fast forward, rewind, whatever you need to do. Just keep in mind you are going to do this at your own pace. So here we go. We've got verb charts for completely regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. So just keep in mind, these are the endings for regular present tense verbs. So we've got o, as, a, amos, and on. ER endings, o, es, a, amos, and n. Y entonces, los verbos IR, the endings are going to be o, es, a, and then remember the nosotros form changes to imos and n. Okay, remember that you have 4 different kinds of stem changing verbs in the present tense. So you've got E to IE verbs, you've got E to I verbs, you've got U to UE verbs, and O to UE verbs. So our first section, E to IE, you're going to see here a list of the infinitive. And remember, the infinitive is the verb that still has the AR, ER, or IR ending attached. And then once I scroll down, you will see what the verbs mean. Okay, so we're just right now going to label what they mean. Keep in mind that these verbs change from E to IE after you have cut off the ending. So for example, with querer, I'm going to cut off the ER, and so this E will change to IE. And then also just keep in mind that in the present tense that happens everywhere except for the nosotros form, which is why we call them boot verbs. So there are all of your E to IE verb meanings. Also keep in mind that once you cut off the ending, if you see a verb like preferir that has 2 E's, it's always going to be the second E that changes. Some of these verbs have asterisks next to them. That is because the yo forms are irregular. So those verbs are muy especial because they have 2 irregularities. They are irregular yos and they are stem changing verbs. Here are a list of E to I verbs. Again, you've got some verbos especiales here, irregular yos, and we will get to those irregular yo forms in a little while. And here are your verb meanings for those. You've got one special U to UE verb. Hopefully we all know that verb by now. And here are your O to UE verbs. Okay, our last page are what are labeled as Gogo verbs, and that's because their yo forms have a go in them. So you're going to see the yo forms and the meanings here. Let me center these for you to make it a little easier. There we go. Okay. When you are ready, on the next page, you're going to see some Coco verbs. So again, these are just concerning the yo forms. And you'll see the meanings as well as the yo form that all end in co, which is why they're called Coco verbs. So it's just important to understand with the Coco and the Gogo verbs that all the other forms, whether it's tú, usted, ellos, nosotros, those are all going to be normal. It's just the yo form that takes these Gogo or Coco endings. Okay, and then we have los desastres, the disaster verbs. We just call them this because they don't really form a pattern. There's no way of really predicting what these forms are going to be. They're all just completely irregular. So what I'm going to do, because you guys don't have these conjugations here, is type them in for you. So we've got doy, das, da, damos, and dan. There's that helping verb where you're only going to use one form because you use it to say there is or there are. So that one's a little funky. Here, remember, it looks just like dar, except there's a V. To know info. The yo form of this one is really irregular. It's say. And this E is going to have an accent. Okay, so just make sure you add that accent to it. Ser. Soy, eres, es, somos, son. Estar is estoy, estás, está, estamos, están. And some of these A's have accents on them. And then your last one's just irregular because the yo form is capo. It's very strange. Capo, and then the rest are normal. Caves, cave, cabemos, y caben. Ya está. Those are your disaster verbs. Okay. On the last couple pages, you have some palabras interrogativas. Those are your question words. And it seems like no matter how many times you go over these, they're very easy to forget or to confuse. So try to drill these right now. We've got K is what, como, how or what, cuando is when, cuánto, how much or how many, quién is who, donde is where, and a donde is to where, and then de donde from where. And then you've got por qué is why, and cuál is which. All right. Let's come up with some questions that we know, that we use all the time, that go along with some of those. So I want you to take a moment and pause this video and see how many question words you can come up with on your paper. Okay, and I'm just going to give you a few. We've got ¿Cómo estás? How are you? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? How old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienes? ¿A dónde vas? Means where are you going? ¿Cuánto cuesta? How much does it cost? How about some with quién? Like quién es ella? Who is she? Or quién es él? Who is he? ¿Quién es tu profesora? What is the date? ¿Cuál es la fecha? What time is it? ¿Qué hora es? You get the idea. Okay, that is going to wrap up the video for today. We are going to go over this, check it, go over it in class tomorrow, and if there are any questions, that would be the time to ask. So maybe jot down any questions or highlight any sections you need clarification on. Thank you for watching. Hasta luego.